The International Day of the Girl Child is both a day to celebrate the gains that we have made in terms of ensuring that girls are able to get their rights as well as boys. So it's a day of celebration because we have very many gains. It's also a day to reflect that there are some girls, many girls, who still remain behind because of certain cultural practices, because of socializations, because of norms, and therefore we need to reflect and ensure that they too can get their rights, because we know that when you give this child their right, then you're ensuring that the world becomes a better place. You cannot have girls being left behind. And so while we celebrate the gains that have been made, we have to look back and ensure that all these gains are for all girls, not just some girls. One of the stories of the girls who have inspired me is a girl, let us call her Ivana, who was going to a school somewhere in arid Kenya in the north. And from the time this girl was in grade 3, she was the only girl who had survived. And she went on grade 4 up to grade 8 as the single girl. And therefore, when I think about her, she had an inner drive, a resilience that makes me celebrate her. But her story would have ended up as incomplete because she did what she could have done on her own, which is to ensure that she completes that cycle of education. And then after that, even though she got an admission letter, nobody was there to take her on to school because nobody in her family felt it was important enough to take her to school. Then we had a head teacher who was teaching in Marsabit Girls at that time, who heard about her story. And she decided, no, this girl cannot remain at home. She looked for transport because she did not have it and went and looked for this girl who was not in the school but somewhere at home in a Manyata. And she found her and she brought her to school. She brought her as she was and said that this girl must learn and enrolled her in her school. So when I think about why this day is important, it's important because it celebrates the spirit that you see in these two people. The resilience of Ivana and the hope given by this head teacher to ensure that Ivana's strength is one that does not go in vain. Because sometimes for one to claim their right in education, you must grab it. Sometimes it is not given to you. Because for Ivana's case, she had to grab it against all odds. And that is why I celebrate her. I'd like to urge all girls that it is important to identify what you want, and it is important to fight for that dream. Sometimes society is kind enough to facilitate you to achieve that dream, but sometimes you must go for your inner resource in order to achieve that dream. And that inner resource is not a bad thing because it allows you determination, it allows you resilience, it allows you focus. And so if all of us were able to do that, then I think many girls, many more girls would be able to achieve their dreams because they have been supported or because they have had to rely on themselves.